Welcome to California Unearthed. I'm in Sacramento, California today, here on E Street. The house you see behind me was built in around 1860. The Woolsey family, Luther and Mary Woolsey, purchased the property in 1866 and had a daughter, May Woolsey.
May Hollister Woolsey was born November 13th, 1866, here in Sacramento, but lived a very short life of only 12 years, because in September of 1879 she contracted an illness, possibly from a mosquito bite, but on September 21st of 1879 she succumbed to her illness and passed away from encephalitis, just a few months away from her 13th birthday.
But what makes this story so incredible is this house behind me. The house here was purchased in 1979 by Ed Duffy. He began to restore the home, and when he was tearing out the staircase, he found a false wall. And behind that false wall was a small black leather steamer trunk. He got a hold of a gentleman by the name of Jim Henley over at the History Center, and that evening they opened the trunk together to find almost 600 items of May Woolsey and the family's personal possessions in that trunk, mostly of May Woolsey. And it was the mother, Mary, who put the trunk behind that false wall. She was so distraught from the loss of her daughter that she packed up all of May's things and some of the family items, put them in that trunk, and then stuck it behind the wall. We're not 100% sure if the father was involved or not, Luther, but we do know that Mary was. And it was so much so that Mary actually got a hold of a medium here in Sacramento and had that medium come out so she could try to communicate with her daughter in the afterlife. There are receipts showing that Mary paid for those services. And so much so that one of the mediums actually wrote down a letter that is at the History Museum today, supposedly from May to her mother. And so we'll go over to the History Museum and see if we can find that letter. And that trunk that I was telling you about is actually on display with some of the items at the History Museum. Come with me as we go check out the trunk at the Sacramento History Museum and May's final resting place at the Sacramento City Cemetery. All right, we are at the History Museum, Sacramento History Museum. Let's go check out May Woolsey's trunk.
All right, here we go. Here is May Woolsey's exhibit. Here's the trunk right here in front of us. And as you notice, there are not 600 some items here. They only display a few items at a time. That way they can preserve the items. But they do rotate the items every now and then. But what was found in the trunk, as you see here, there's gloves, letters, drawings, books, petticoats, marbles, buttons, cigar box right there that May has turned into probably a keepsake box. A lock of her hair was found in here, shoes, but most importantly, May's diary was in this box, and that's going to tell us a lot about her life as a young girl in Sacramento. Diaries are very, very important, and what was also found in this box was the letter that I spoke of earlier that the medium had penned, saying that the letter was from May. This is a photograph of the spiritual letter that May wrote to her mother. The letter itself is not on display, but in safekeeping at the museum. The letter reads, "Dear Mama, I am so happy as I did write to you and say I was happy. Now, Mama dear, do not weep for me. I am not dead. No, only gone, before to wait your coming, when you will be out of all sorrow and care, and will be happy with me. Oh, what pleasure there is in the spirit life, no one can tell. Only think of everlasting life and pleasure, where we know no sorrow. All is sunshine. There is no cloud to darken our path, as on earth. We have our own choice of mission. You will outlive this. Your mission on earth is not done yet. Your dearest May. But also found in this box were family photos, books, her diploma, which is right there on the left, invitations, a ostrich feathered fan, and so many more personal items from May. Just amazing.
It's just a little bit of a glimpse into a young girl's life here in Sacramento. There she is there. Beautiful young lady. And they have a whole setup here display.
English. Meet Miss May Woolsey of Sacramento, a child much like children you know, maybe even a kid like herself, who goes to school, loves to have fun, and looks forward to special occasions. Except she was born in 1866. How is May like children today? And how is she different? Find out by pressing the buttons and touching the images above. May Hollister Woolsey was a bright, artistic, and social young girl who lived in Sacramento in the 1870s. She excelled in school and enjoyed drawing and sewing and decorating items with little angels and flowers and paper lace. Writing in her diary, she expressed excitement over attending her friend Mamie Mezik's birthday party just 2 months before she died. She wrote about this beautiful fan, gloves, and dress her mother bought for her to wear to the party. May Woolsey kept a diary of her thoughts and daily events. Here is an excerpt from July 23, 1879, when May was 12 years old.
Mama has gone down the street to get me a fan and a pair of gloves. I'll be going to Mamie's party if my foot is warm enough. I hope it will be. I'm making a scrapbook. Nellie was over yesterday. I wonder if Georgie Griswold's going. I hope not. Over to Mamie's, there's to be dancing, and it means I can't dance for a sore foot. It always is so.
Unfortunately, May Hollister Woolsey died on September 21st, 1879, just months shy of her 13th birthday. She died from encephalitis, an inflammation of the brain, likely caused by a mosquito bite. From the time Sacramento was founded during the gold rush, residents complained of clouds of mosquitoes which can carry malaria and other diseases. May even wrote about the annoying mosquitoes in a July 23rd diary entry months before she died, noting how
the flies bite like fury, and so do the mosquitoes.
May's parents, Luther and Mary, consulted spiritualists, hoping they could communicate with their only daughter after death. Soon after, they gathered up May's childhood belongings into a trunk, and it was eventually sealed in the wall under the staircase of their Sacramento home at 916 E Street. 100 years after May's death, in 1979, the home's new owner discovered the perfectly preserved trunk containing nearly 600 items. May's 19th century treasures give us rare access to the life of an ordinary child when the city of Sacramento was young.
So hopefully you enjoyed seeing this trunk. Let's go over to the cemetery and pay our respects to poor May. Here at the Sacramento Old City Cemetery, there are a lot of famous graves. They even have a brochure made up of all the famous people buried here in the cemetery. and May is on that list. And you can see a picture of her right here on this platform. She has made the list of famous people buried here at the Sacramento Old City Cemetery. Not a lot of people can say that. Alright, we are now in the Sacramento Old City Historic Cemetery, and May is right over here with her parents. This is Luther and Mary, and May is right here next to them. I have been wanting to come and pay my respects to May for quite a while. They actually have a little plaque right here.
May Hollister Woolsey, November 13th, 1866 to September 21st, 1879. May Woolsey was a beloved only daughter of Luther and Mary Woolsey, who lived at 916 E Street. Mary died just a few months before her 13th birthday in 1879 from encephalitis. Her grief-stricken parents made attempts to contact her with the help of a spiritualist, then packed up her belongings in a trunk and sealed it behind the wall. The trunk was rediscovered 100 years later in 1979 by the home's new owners during a remodel. Today, its contents help tell a story of childhood and loss.
So as you can see here, many people leave toys and trinkets for May, pay their respects. It's been said that if you put a hand on her tombstone that you can feel her presence. I don't know if that's true or not, but I like to believe it. You know, you never know. The other thing is, when they opened up the trunk in 1979, it was said after they had opened it that there was some sort of spirit that started to inhabit the house. They don't know if it was the spirit of May or maybe it was the spirit of Mary, her mother. They're believing it was Mary because May's spirit has been known to have been seen here at the cemetery surrounding her grave and also walking out towards her home on E Street. So if you believe in the spirits or not, you know, I can't say, that's up to you, but if you've seen some ghosts or spirits in your life, you kind of believe it. And I like to believe that May's here and seeing what we're doing and seeing all the trinkets and toys that people are leaving her. But definitely a very, very humbling place to stay and pay our respects, not only to May, but to her parents as well, because if it wasn't for Mary and Luther, this whole story probably wouldn't be told. It was because of them hiding that trunk underneath that staircase to be able to be found 100 years later that we're here to tell this story today. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, click the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We'll see you guys on the next adventure. Hey, May.